Now, so many of your songs are about current events, about history, and you recently sang in Old Lyme, Connecticut, and one of your first songs was about the St. Patrick Battalion. It wasn't a usual St. Patrick's Day song. What was it about?
It's about this, sort of an international brigade, more or less. It was long before the Spanish Civil War, of course. This was in 1846 when 202, mostly men from, well, all men and mostly from Ireland, when they were drafted along with many thousands of their countrymen into the U.S. military to go invade Mexico. They got to Mexico and they saw that they were on the wrong side, and they didn't just desert like thousands of soldiers did, but they actually deserted from the U.S. military and then joined the Mexican military and formed the Mexican military's only foreign legion. They had their own flags, their own uniforms, and they fought 5 battles with the U.S. military. Most of them were killed in combat, and then others survived, and those who weren't captured and hanged by the U.S. Lived out the rest of their days in what is now Mexico City, what was then the village of San Jalisco.
Why did they decide that they were on the wrong side?
Well, there's some contention about that, but it was some combination of factors. Partly it was certainly their solidarity with Mexicans on the basis of them all being Catholic, and being harassed for their national origin as well as for their religion within the ranks of the U.S. military, which was at that time overwhelmingly Protestant and very bigoted about that. But also, I think a lot of it had to do with just being Irish and realizing that they had joined an imperial country to go invade a smaller, weaker one, and they had had lots of experience that with Britain in that context, and they didn't want to be on that side.
Now, you opened the set, I believe, with a song about pirates, which is kind of pretty topical in view of all the pirates over by Somalia and so on. But it was from a kid song album?
Yeah, this is actually the second of 3 songs I've written about pirates. One was called Black Flag Flying, about the golden age of piracy back in 1716 to 1721. But the song I did in Old Lyme was just called The Pirate Song. It's from my children's CD, so it's definitely a children's pirate song that doesn't mention any beheadings or anything like that. But I also have another song which I haven't really completely finished writing yet, but it's basically a tribute to the pirates of Somalia. It's a bit tongue-in-cheek, but overall, I think that they are doing doing what pirates have always done. They're very much in the vein of piracy for many hundreds of years, which is basically they're impoverished due to circumstances having to do very much with the rich countries and big corporations, and they're taking the situation into their own hands and trying to do a little bit of wealth redistribution, and it's working out fairly well for lots of them, and I think this is a good thing.
Yeah, the coverage we get is only just, the commanders go in, they kill the pirates, whatever. But no one's talking about what we did in Somalia. We meaning the U.S. empire, ravaged that country by sending in an Ethiopian army to invade it. And, it's prostrate once again.
Yeah, I mean, that's, of course, the media, the journalists seem to so often suffer from this complete lack of memory, and I think so often it's not necessarily because of their right-wing bias, but just because they never have enough time to do their research and stuff. But in any case, you never hear them talking about the fact that there was a stable government in Somalia for a little while, which was overthrown by the U.S.-backed Ethiopian invasion, and other very important things you don't hear about is these massive commercial fishing trawlers that have destroyed the fishing industry in Somalia from countries all over the world. And you also don't hear about the fact that, given that Somalia has had a defunct government for so long, Somalia has become the coastal waters outside Somalia have become dumping grounds for radioactive waste, and from countries that are obviously breaking international law by doing it but don't care. And so all these factors have come together to ruin the fishing industry for the local people, and have forced them into piracy.
And there was a piece in the British paper, The Independent, about how some of the so-called pirates see themselves as defenders of the country against the dumping of this terrible waste.
Yeah, that piece was making a lot of rounds, which is great, and I completely agree that's it's also there's also been other pieces. I've been following this a lot. I think the pirate thing, and one of the pieces that was. Several pieces have mentioned that overwhelmingly the pirates have a code of ethics that they behave according to, which involves treating crew members well when they keep them hostage, as long as, of course, they're not violently resisting, in which case bad things can happen. But if they're peacefully allowing themselves to become hostages of the pirates, they're generally treated well. They're cooked for. They even have cooks in the village of Haradheri in Somalia that are trained in the cuisine of different countries. I'm not kidding. I mean, if you can believe The Guardian, I read it there. That they were giving borscht to the Ukrainian sailors that they were holding there for months, and they have a pirate's handbook, which was captured in one of the raids by French commandos, and in the pirate's handbook it was explained various things which are very consistent with the pirates from the 1600s and 1700s, such as don't harass female crew members, which is, perhaps something that needs to be spelled out to some of the teenagers who might otherwise do their own thing and behave inappropriately, but they're specifically being told not to.